Hey everyone, I'm Janice Davis, and this is MMORPG.com's The List. This week we're excited to bring you the top 5 books that would make great MMOs. We didn't include The Holder's Dominion on the list because, you know, that'd be cheap. But you should totally check it out anyway because, after all, it's a thriller that incorporates online games and suspenseful twists. As avid gamers, we can appreciate good fantasy fiction and their incredibly intricate worlds. And as avid MMO players, imagining what those characters in our favorite novels sound and look like naturally leads us to envision what some of these fictional worlds might be like if they were an online game. Let's take a look.
Number 5, The Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time grabbed numerous audiences, many with the first entry in this fantasy epic. First and foremost, how grounded this fantasy world is captivates its readers. At the start, all of the main characters are farmers, blacksmiths, shopkeepers, etc., lending a surprising degree of realism. This would work as a great counterpoint to the existing degree of high fantasy that exists in most games. While it's not the same level of realism that you see in games such as The Secret World, it is decidedly more grounded than World of Warcraft or most other games. All regions of the world are described in detail, all the way down to the regional differences of village inhabitants, lending a perfect degree of believability to the world as a whole. Number 4, The Hunger Games. Suzanne Collins authored an in-depth look at a post-apocalypse world where Katniss Everdeen spearheaded a world of challenges to survive. As such, many gamers volunteer the world of Hunger Games as tribute for the next setting of a AAA MMO. Each district can be its own faction within the game with regional differences, faction limitations, and skill bonuses. Perhaps District 12 starts with a bonus to archery, while District 10 starts with a bonus to stealth. Those variations could lead to some really interesting gameplay differences for players. They could also adapt the whole Hunger Games setting, increase the frequency to weekly or even daily, and that would allow for a built-in recurring in-game event with tons of potential. Number 3, Robopocalypse. Post-apocalyptic settings are far from new to gaming. Fallen Earth already captures the mysterious wasteland setting. The Secret World is arguably another variation. But there isn't really an entry that leans heavily towards the robotic, sci-fi, apocalypse angle. And that's where Daniel H. Wilson's Robopocalypse comes in. It all takes place on the actual Earth from the point of view of various different characters, battling against artificial intelligence that seeks to wipe out humanity. Wilson does a wonderful job of humanizing all the characters, even the non-human ones, in such a way that it feels like something that could actually happen. And it would be great for a format similar to DC Universe Online, where you choose different characters as mentors. In Robopocalypse, some people are better at using the environment to their advantage to fight against the robots, while others are demolition experts, or even hackers that can reprogram the machines. Number 2, Mistborn. Out of all the recent fantasy series, the Mistborn trilogy and subsequent short follow-up epilogue novel has engrossed all types of readers. Brandon Sanderson writes strong backstories for entire populations of people and different races, but also never fully explores plenty of other regions, leaving the door open for an MMO. Different abilities exist for different types of Allomancers. Furthermore, if the MMO took place just after the end of the trilogy, or near the end, there are plenty of events going on that are ripe with narrative potential. Not to mention, a player who is trying to work towards becoming a full Mistborn rather than just a Misting would be an awesome and epic journey, reminiscent of what it was like to become a Jedi in the launch version of Star Wars Galaxies. And now, for our number 1 book that would make a great MMO, Harry Potter. The wizarding world of Harry Potter would make for a wonderful MMO experience. There are strong, fantastical elements that almost everyone on the planet are familiar with. There is rich backstory and history to establish the settings and characters. Hogwarts already has a house system that would work perfectly for establishing factions within the game, and the Sorting Hat could be used for character creation. Years in school allow for built-in progression systems, along with learning new spells, attending classes, and developing new techniques. Events like Quidditch, the Triwizard Tournament, and other competitions would make for great side activities. Diagon Alley would be an amazing central hub full of various shops and other assorted gathering places. Then, once you reach endgame, choosing to become either a Death Eater or an Aura would fit in perfectly for large-scale PvP combat. Well, there you have it, the top 5 fantasy-type books that would make great MMOs. Do you have a favorite book or a book series that you think would make for a great MMO setting? There are so many to choose from, so it can be difficult to narrow it down, just as we experienced having to exclude so many of our favorites. Let us know your thoughts, and also drop us a line with which other lists you'd like to see.
I'm Janice Davis for MMORPG.com. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you online in the next realm.